We're back with another video of forgotten players to reach the 1,000 yard plateau, but this time it's for running backs. You guys seem to enjoy this video idea with wide receivers, so hopefully you enjoy. Remember to leave a like, it always helps out, and let's get into it. Jarvis Green-Ellis, nicknamed the Law Firm due to his reputation of never fumbling the ball, was a name you may have forgotten about from over a decade ago. Green-Ellis spent his first 4 seasons in New England after signing as an undrafted free agent in 2008. During the 2010 season, Green-Ellis rushed for 1,008 yards along with 13 touchdowns on 229 carries. Surprisingly, nobody else on the team had even 100 carries, considering the Patriots are notorious for splitting their backfield. Jarvis would go on to have another 1,000-yard season a couple years later in 2012, this time with the Bengals after signing a 3-year contract there. He did it on much less efficiency, but the Law Firm saw a career-high 278 carries that season, running for an inefficient 3.9 yards per carry. He still nearly rushed for 1,100 yards that season, so it does count. Next we have New York Giants legend Peyton Hillis. Man, what a sad story this was, from the cover of Madden to pretty much just a guy in the span of a couple years. Hillis had that amazing 2010 season with the Browns, putting up 1,177 yards and 12 touchdowns on 4.4 yards per carry. It wasn't the most consistent season, but overall the numbers looked very good. Hillis did have 7 games of under 50 rushing yards, but had a few blow-up games, including 184 yards versus the Patriots in Week 9. Hillis followed up his Madden cover breakout season, only averaging 3.6 yards per carry and missing some time with injuries. After fading out of the spotlight with the Chiefs and the Giants, we did not see Peyton Hillis play beyond the age of 28. Some say he was too cocky and not the best locker room guy, but Hillis opened up about dealing with mental health struggles as well. Whatever the cause was, what we do know is that Hillis will go down as one of the better one-year wonders in NFL history. This next player will always be known more for his college career at Ohio State, but Chris Wells, aka Beanie Wells, had 1 season in the NFL over 1,000 yards. In 2009, Wells was a late first-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals, but it wasn't until year 3 where he finally broke out. In 2011, Wells had a 1,047-yard rushing season with 10 touchdowns and averaged 4.3 yards per carry. Unfortunately, Wells' career would be more defined by injuries than his actual production on the field. In 2012, Wells battled turf toe and missed half the season, and during a workout with the Ravens in 2013, he tore his Achilles and never played again in the NFL. His career sadly ended at only 24 years old. Wells did come out after his playing career and admit he was having issues with headaches, speech, and memory, which obviously is scary based on what we now know about brain injuries in the NFL. Shawn Green is a back that any Jets fan past a certain age has probably not forgotten about, but if you're a fan of the 31 other teams, you may have. Green had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2011 and 2012. They weren't the most efficient 1,000-yard seasons, but he averaged 4.2 yards and 3.9 yards per carry. He backed up Thomas Jones and LaDainian Tomlinson his first couple years, but once he was given the starting job, he was good enough. As for Green, his career faded out after signing a 3-year, $10 million deal with the Titans and failing to reach 700 yards in 2 seasons combined. Although it was not a fantastic career, Jets fans will always remember Shawn Green for his big playoff performances in 2009 and 2010. Next, we have a guy who was once the 12th overall pick in the 2010 draft, and that is Ryan Matthews. Matthews had a pretty good career, but it could have been so much better if it weren't for the long list of injuries. He only played a full season once and did have 2 seasons over 1,000 yards. In 2011, he ran for 1,091 yards, but in 2013, when he played all 16 games, he had a career high in rushing yards with 1,255. Matthews battled multiple shoulder injuries, head injuries, knee injuries, and many other things. He finished his final 2 years in Philadelphia and had decent success, but was never given the full-time starting role. By the age of 29, his career was over, but we will always be wondering what if Ryan Matthews were able to avoid all the injuries. The next guy on our list will always be remembered for being in Bill Belichick's doghouse for his fumbling issues. But the truth is that Stephen Ridley once had a fantastic season with the Patriots back in 2012 when he had 1,263 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. It seemed like the 23-year-old was destined for stardom at the time, but then came the fumbles. Ridley lost 4 fumbles the next year in 2013, including 3 weeks in a row. His workload dropped from 290 carries in 2012 to 178 carries in 2013. After 2013, he never had a season over 400 yards and bounced around from a few different teams, including the Jets, Falcons, and Steelers. His efficiency kept dropping, and it seemed like no coach could trust him based on his fumbling history. CJ Spiller was just a fun player to watch, a good receiver, explosive plays, plays, and top-notch speed. After starting running back Fred Jackson had a knee injury, it was CJ Spiller who was given the opportunity to step in. Spiller was given a career-high 207 carries and averaged a whopping 6 yards per carry for 1,244 yards while adding another 459 yards in the receiving game. During the next season, Spiller fell just shy of 1,000 yards and his efficiency dropped to 4.6 yards per carry. In 2015, Spiller signed a nice 4-year, $16 million deal with the Saints, and while the expectations were high, he did not live up to them. He had a great moment in week 4 of 2015 when he had a game-winning touchdown reception versus the Cowboys in overtime, but outside of that, it was mostly disappointing. He bounced around with the Jets, Seahawks, and Chiefs to close out his career, but he never reached the heights we once hoped when he was younger. That'll do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed once again. If you guys want more videos like this, then let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys next time.